somebody like that, and man, it is because the thing is I've offered them too to go out and do things like different things,
Yeah,
and
and
every
like,
time it's just like no, and my brain's like you're that great body, that great mind of yours, you're just you told me right there, you just don't care what happens to it, you just want to throw it away, like you'd rather just not have it.
yeah. And even if it's just like go out with your friends for like a beer or a cup of coffee or something, like just get out there because that's a conversation that you're gonna have. And like just like we're having a conversation right now, we've known each other for like what 2 years or something, and you just learned that I like football and I did theater for so long, and like I went to college for theater and all kinds of stuff. So it's like you're always gonna learn something about people. And if not, they may have learned something that day to be like, hey man, did you know this about the ocean? Like there's some crazy animal out there we've never seen until today. You never would have known about this awesome animal if you didn't talk to your buddy.
Exactly. And just like the amount of information that every one person has that you can't just like get yourself. Like just because from personal experiences, from different perspectives. That's why I also say that you should always have a friend group where you disagree with something one of your friends says all the time about something.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like a radical something. It could just be like, I don't like the color blue. Well, I do. Like, no one's ever perfect and gonna agree on everything. And that doesn't mean you can't be friends. And I
Exactly.
think we I don't know, I don't know if it's like social media has made it really bad or if it's just like political stuff, which I don't want to get into because I hate political stuff anyway. But like it now, there's so many people that think like if you aren't practically the same person, you can't be friends. Like you have to agree on everything, you have to share everything, you have to have every single hobby the same. I'm like, I don't want to hang out with myself all the time. If I
Yeah,
did, I would just hang out by myself all the time.
exactly. Yeah, like, and that's one thing I love about doing the like this podcast in particular because I try to have people who I agree with on some things, but I also want to see what we disagree on or what I do not know, what I do not see because there's an endorphin you get in your brain, which I'm not sure the real science behind this, but whenever you learn something and you want to learn it and you can contextualize it, something in your brain just clicks. And for some reason, for me at least, I'm just obsessed with it for however many time. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 5 years.
Oh,
It's
dude,
just
I'm so bad about that. Like, I never will consider myself like a master of anything, but I would say I'm definitely like a jack of as many trades as possible. Like I get super interested in something and I'm like, that's it. I'm tunnel vision on that topic for however long until something else grabs my attention. And then I'm like tunnel vision on that one. And then I kind of like bounce between them all and try to learn as much as I can as fast as I can.
mm-hmm. That's what happened to me in streaming and essentially Rocket League
Yep.
too, the same part. And then like a bunch of the small stuff that I picked up, like for instance, like video editing and everything. That was honestly that was kind of a flash in the pan. Like I still want to do it, but at the same time, it's like more of a skill I want to have in my repertoire versus something I want to dedicate my whole all my everything and time to. And
Right.
then cooking, I was huge on cooking for like 3 years, and now it's like a skill I have. So if I need to, I can make food, or if like I got a date, I can be like, listen, come to my place. I fill your belly.
I'm gonna cook you up something real good. I feel that.
Exactly. So like I said, just having all that different experiences have just they just I get the experience from it and then I keep it and then I feel like I learned something new and I have a new skill for life, which I wouldn't have had if I didn't have that little burst of energy. But it does suck because when I try to focus on one thing, something else shiny comes along. I'm like, ooh.
Ooh, what's that? Yep. I do that too. I'm very much like, this is interesting, and then something else happens. I'm like, no. And I go after the other thing.
So, for keeping focus, how do you keep focus then when that happens?
It kind of depends on what it is. If it's something that either I'm doing for a client or for like my own stream or my own content, I very much am I bookmark a lot of things on my browser. So if I'm looking up like a tutorial on how to do something in editing, because I'm like, oh man, I've never run into like this weird little problem I'm having. How do I fix this? And then I pull up a video and it's like 5 ways to fix this problem. I'm like, okay, well, what's the quickest? Find the quickest, do it. And then I go back and I look at it. I'm like, well, what's the actual best way to do it that gives the best outcome? And then I'll go back and I'll re-edit that same way or the same piece with each option and see which one feels the most natural. Um, If it's something that I'm just doing kind of like for fun, I just kind of let stuff fall and come back as it is. Because I'm like, if this looks more interesting to me right now, I'm not going to be able to focus on this other thing anyway. It's like start watching one TV show and a new season comes out of a show that's, something I know I like. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go finish that season that I know I like and then come back to this new one. So it's kind of like depends on what it is. If it's for fun, whatever. As it is, as it is. If it's something, that's for a client or for my own work, something that needs to be done, it's get it done and then kind of explore the other options after that.
Okay. Yeah, I feel I kind of go the same way. Um, although I've noticed that even when it comes to my work stuff, sometimes I will just get distracted by shiny thing, which could be
Oh
shiny
yeah.
new work or shiny new, like whatever.
Yeah, nothing's ever perfect. I'll always get distracted by something. Like I've been trying to design my own merch for my
Hmm.
stream, and Halloween is my favorite holiday, and fall time is my favorite time of year. So I was like, every year during October, the only games that I will stream on my stream are Halloween themed. So it's either horror or it's just like got like kind of like a spooky vibe to it or something. That's the only thing I'll stream all month. So I was like, you know what? This year, like last year, I started making merch when I started streaming full time. And not a lot of people have bought it, but some people have. I was like, why don't I make Halloween specific merch? So I was like, how can I do that? And one of them I basically took the same thing I had, changed the color and changed one piece of the image out to be more Halloween themed. The other one, I took some text, and it's the simplest design, but it came out looking really good, I think. I just took some text that looked Halloween themed and almost like a cut,
Mm-hmm.
typed out the three letters, and then I was like, okay, how can I play with drop shadowing and coloring to make this look better? And then ended up at the end of it looks like an old like 80s slasher film cover.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like, and I was Googling it. I was like, how can I do this? Like, I was like, how to add drop shadow. And I was like, it says do this. And I was like, great. And I was like, oh, there's 15 other effects in this. What does this do? And I just started dragging stuff around to see what it did until something was like, okay, well, that works like this. Well, what if I do it with this way? And it became like a whole afternoon thing of messing with just like the effects under a drop shadow.
That's yeah. Honestly, that's the best way to learn though. Is like playing with stuff.
I've noticed that because I've done like photos before, but I never really got into editing.